We've got just over 4 hours for the deadline for the arrest of former President Jacob Zuma. Police, we are hearing, have dramatically increased their presence near his Nkandla home. They've set up camp at an Eshowe shopping centre. Of course, we know there's a last-minute attempt by his lawyers to appeal to the Constitutional Court to stay his arrest. But barring any word from the Apex Court, that arrest will go ahead by midnight, or the police minister himself will be in contempt of court. Well, our reporter Dasen Thathiah joins me now from Eshowe. Dasen, good evening to you. Just tell us how far Eshowe is from Nkandla and what sort of police movement you're seeing this evening there.
Well, Sally, I was just listening to your intro and I can't help but thinking that it sounds a lot like a game of chess, and that would be quite fitting considering that the former president did enjoy that game. And it's a similar thing here with the police, because they've also been making moves. They didn't just first deploy here to Eshowe. They were actually stationed at Nkandla, which is about an hour away from Eshowe. That's where we found them earlier on this afternoon. Now, they'd been there for a couple of days, really just monitoring the situation that had been taking place in northern KZN, particularly with those numbers that we've seen outside the former president's home. But today, at around 5 o'clock or so, that's when they moved out, about 50 vehicles or so that were there. I'm talking about the public order policing, the NIU was also spotted there, as well as other specialized units and some armored vehicles. In fact, just before 5 o'clock, that's when I saw one of the police helicopters that was leaving that spot in Nkandla. But now, to talk about Eshowe, which is where some of those vehicles have moved to, just take a look at what you're seeing behind me. Now, this is quite an incredible sight, particularly in a town like Eshowe, where you'd normally only see these types of numbers during the election time. But here, that's almost an entire parking lot of a shopping mall that's been taken up by police vehicles. Some of them marked, others not, but certainly a variety of them. Now, what you probably can't see because of the low light is that towards the periphery of this parking lot is where police officers are standing in small groups. It looked a little bit like a briefing that was being held, but we couldn't quite make out what was going on there. You would understand as well that it is all quite hush-hush. We've been working our sources as well, trying to get any information that we can about this operation and what the intention of all of these police officers is. But certainly they are remaining tight-lipped. Officers from outside the province have also been brought in just by the branding on some of these police vehicles. And just over down the road there, you'll see that those are the armored vehicles that are stationed outside that shopping mall. So it gives the impression, Sel, that police are certainly ready for anything, and they are here stationed in this area of Eshowe, which is about, give or take, an hour away from the former president's home, to prepare for any eventuality as that clock keeps ticking.
Yeah, it absolutely does. So we've got 4 hours until that midnight deadline, and Eshowe should be fairly sleepy at this time of night, but as you've shown us, there is a lot of police activity, and I would imagine this in response to fears that there could be a major protest. We know, of course, Nkandla fairly quiet this evening. Dasen Thathiah from Eshowe, thank you so much for bringing us that update. And we know, of course, that our reporters Sipamandla Goge, Dasen Thathiah and Aviwim Tila will continue to bring you the developments on this build-up to midnight here on eNCA. Will Jacob Zuma be in prison by midnight, or will he not? We'll have to wait and see. Well,